Good day, everyone. I hope that you're doing well. Today, we are going to talk about video. Video, we use it every day, and we are going to try and understand how we can use it. We're going to try and understand the basic things that we know, but we need to know the terms, and we use it every day, whether it's recording people at church singing, whether it's recording ourselves doing our sermons in whatever you may call it, and is very much interesting. I am a YouTuber myself. I do a lot of YouTube videos and I use cameras each and every time. And the recent one that I'm using is my phone. And it has given me the opportunity to learn more and to speak good around the camera, to be myself, and obviously to be able to talk to myself and not think that I'm crazy. So it is a beautiful thing to use in our daily lives. Now, we are going to understand some few terms, but before that, my name is Kamohelo Lebese, and I will be presenting today's honor. Now, when we look at video, most of the time we ask ourselves, what is a video? Now, a video is a recording, reproducing, or broadcasting of moving virtual images. As I am recording this honor to you, I am utilizing a video because you are able to rewatch it. It is not a still picture, but it is a virtual image, which means I am moving around, I am speaking, and video captures facial, audio, and everything else. And I can edit it out to put titles, to put names, and I am able to share presentations also as I am recording myself. So you can use it at any time and anywhere possible. People use video cameras to watch over people like a CCTV. Whenever there's somebody at the gate, you're able to look at the video footage to see who is at the gate in real time to be able to determine, should I let that person in? Sure. Should I not answer? So it gives you that opportunity for you to do that. Now, what is a camera? So we understand what is a video. Now, what is a camera? Now, a camera is used for recording images on video type or for transmitting them to a monitor screen. Now, once I take a camera, for instance, on my phone, and I am shooting myself with the camera, and I have connected my phone to the television, I'm able to see myself in real time. I'm able to see people outside, or people can see me, or when I'm going live. So I'm able to use that. Many people also use it when they're beaming it on projectors. For instance, if it is a big church, and for instance, you're doing your filing in, you're marching in, and a lot of people, your grannies cannot step outside and stand for quite a long time to see you doing your performance or doing your coming in into the church, doing your guard of honor and all those things. But once I have my camera with me or a camera, I'm able to go outside and I'm able to shoot it in real time. And while they're sitting inside the church, they're able to see me. They're able to see the beautiful children doing their marching, doing their drill downs and everything. And it becomes beautiful and convenient, especially for people who are physically cannot do it for themselves, like standing up, standing for a long time. So we can use video cameras in a lot of situations, capturing moments when you are graduating, you're being invested, and you are capturing beautiful moments so that you are able to rewatch them and re-show people who are not there, or we are able to keep it for memory purposes to say on this day I was able to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, the current format and resolutions. Now we have 1080p. Now the 1080p is the maximum HD quality you can find. And we have the 2K, we have the 4K, and we have an 8K. Usually, when we talk about the 4K and 8K, you usually find it on televisions. We usually find it also when people are using their cameras. The cameras support 4K and support 8K. Usually, the minimum that you can get is 1080p, which can be on your phone and beyond. Because once you understand that the 1080p is the maximum, then others, it's the sky is the limit. That's why we call it an ultra HD. Now, when you are recording, the more resolution you have, it means the more megabytes or gigabytes it will cost you. When I'm recording in 4K, or when I'm editing a video and I am saving it in 4K, usually takes time because it is an ultra HD. Now it takes time to convert, it takes time to save each and everything because it's now a bigger file. And a thing like, for instance, what you're seeing on your screen, a 1 minute video can cost anything between 2 megabytes, 2 gigabytes, mean to say. So you are able to understand that the higher you go, the more storage that you will need, the more gigabytes it will take, and also the more that you record in, it will depend. Now, one thing that is good about a recording in 4K, you can record in 4K but save in 1080p. Now, people have a 4K camera and 8K camera, they can record in 4K. But when the ones they are saving, it's much more easier for them because they're able to zoom in because their resolution is much more higher and they're able to do their edits better. But when they are converting and saving the rest of the video after working on it, they're able to save it at 1080p. And 1080p, 400 megabytes and 30 minutes, you're looking at 12 gigabytes. So you're able to understand the simple concept that there's a disadvantage and an advantage that you need to take note in mind, is that if you want to record in 4K and save in 4K, it will take you a bit of much time. If you record in 1080p and save in 1080p, it is still okay to give you the average time depending on the length of your video. And if you're recording in 4K, for instance, but you're saving it in 1080p, it'll be much more quicker to save. But also, when you are recording, because your camera is giving you the ability to do so, it becomes much more easier for you to use it, to edit much more easier. Same as people who are taking pictures in 4K, they're able to save it in 1080p, but they're able to edit out their pictures in high resolution. Now, we are having what we call video file formats. Now, a video file format is the file type that you save your video in. The file type that you save your video in. Now, in your screen, we have the common one, which is the WMV, the MP4, the FLV, and we have many others, but I just wanted to mention this top three because usually once you are saving your things, whether on Windows, whether on Mac, this is basically the file types that you'll generally get and you must generally understand. Also, if maybe you want to move from file type to file type, you can open websites where they are able to convert video types. For instance, for purposes of an example, when we look at images, we have what we call a PDF, not a PDF per se, but for instance, if you want to change a PDF into an image, you can also convert it. So same applies with videos. If maybe you have an WMV, you want to change it into a MP4, you are able to upload it and convert it. Some editing apps, some phones are able to support all of them. So it doesn't matter which one you use. So, but if, for instance, you're having a file type which does not support your phone, does not support your editing app, you are able to convert it to an MP4, then you're able to edit it out, you're able to post it, because sometimes some things, when you post it on Instagram, it doesn't post on WhatsApp because of the file types, for instance. So you are able to check and see which file type supports a certain editing device, an editing app rather, or a device, or a social media platform. So you need to check those things while you are uploading, and it makes it much more easier for your uploading process to become much more faster, easier, and smoother. But I recommend the MP4 because that is the generally standard of video recording and file types in videos. Now, there's something that we need to understand once we have a video camera. And this is very much important. We have the pinning, zooming, and tilting. Now, when we look at the first one, it is a technique in which the camera stays in a fixed position but rotates left and right horizontal. Now, when I'm having a camera, I forgot my tripod. You put it like this. Now, when you put it like this, you are now able to, when you're recording with the handle of the tripod, or even if it is a smooth one, you are able to move from left, you're able to move from right in a fixed position. And this one is used basically when a preacher is preaching and he moves from the side, you're able to move with the preacher. You're moving with the preacher, you're coming back with the preacher, you're moving with the preacher. And it is the general technique whereby you are in a fixed position. The camera is in the fixed position whereby it is not moving, but the only thing that is moving is left to right, left to right, and which is the basics that we need to know when it comes to recording. Then you have the tilting. Now the camera rotates in a motion similar to somebody rising or lowering their hand, looking up and down. Now, once you have your video camera on the tripod, now you're, instead of you moving left to right, you're now going down and you're moving up. You're going down and moving up, which makes it much more easier to follow somebody. So you can move left, right, up, down. Now that is the motion that you are taking while you are recording in most instances, because while you are recording, you're following somebody or whatever the case may be. So you're utilizing the vertical motion, the horizontal motion. And we have what we call zooming. Zooming is making the image appear closer or further. Now, this version is simple. Once you are also zooming into something, maybe you want to zoom in at that preacher or zoom in at something that is being beamed or whatever the case may be, that's where you use your zooming in and zooming out. So these are the three basic principles that you should know and you should remember every time we are recording. And we were going to talk about using your other motions whereby you are moving forward and backwards while tilting and everything, but that is so much complicated. But once you understand the three basic fundamentals of recording a video, it becomes much more easier for you to incorporate other positions or other movements which are utilized. And I recommend you to do this while you are recording at church, while you are recording, even if you use your hand. Sometimes you do not have a tripod, but once you are like this, you're able to understand you're moving like this, you're moving like this, taking it up, you're taking it down, you are zooming in. Obviously on the phone, when you zoom in, you zoom out, you zoom in, you zoom out, then that's how you basically do it. And it becomes much more easier. Now, today, I just wanted to understand also how to set up a tripod and mount a camera, and how to mount a camera on a tripod. Now, a tripod is where your camera stands. For instance, if I had a tripod when I'm doing my YouTube channels, I cannot keep on holding the video and the camera or the phone talking like this, but I want to be free and talk beautifully without me being disturbed. So I use a tripod and I mount my phone. So it is much more easier for me to record and share my points, and I am fixed and it captures the right position and everything else, and it becomes much more easier. I'm going to show you a video of a person setting up a tripod so that we are all able to understand and know. I need to go back to the video so that you're all able to see. It's refusing to play.
Undo them, right? And then based on how smooth everything is, all the legs should just slide out. Now again, I was talking about 70 inches, so you want to kind of get the legs all spread and then kind of figure out what the right height is. Because remember, even after you get the legs set up, you still have about 6 to 8 inches here to raise up the camera. So keep that in mind. All right, so what we're going to do is go ahead and kind of get the legs settled there, make sure they're even. Remember that there's always a level, so you can look at that and make sure things are even. And then once they are, go ahead and start locking those legs in place and hold the tripod steady. If you need to make adjustments, you certainly can do that. And it's not the end of the world if it's like a little uneven. You can always undo one and then kind of go like that. So there, now I have my tripod set up. Now if I want
As she was explaining, remember that once you set up your tripod, it needs to be as straight as possible. And once it's as straight as possible, we are able to capture things properly. And when it is as smooth as possible. There are different tripods, but once you understand how to open it, how to close it, and ensure that you place it on a steady ground so that you don't find your camera tilting or your camera falling, you understand? So make sure that all is well. Now we're going to understand how to mount a camera on a tripod. Now, mounting a camera on a tripod is very much important. It's very much important because once the camera falls, you're in great trouble because a camera is very much expensive and its lenses and everything. So ensure that you mount it carefully and ensure that it is secure on the tripod. Here's a video explaining
how to attach a camera to a tripod. And basically, each tripod can be a little different, but the basic mechanisms are very similar, and you're probably going to be able to follow along with your own tripod and camera combination. If you're doing video, it's really important to keep the camera as steady as possible, and the tripod is a very popular way. As for photography, if you're taking long exposures and things like that, you'll notice that the tripod can be a very useful tool also. Alright, so a lot of tripods have basically the same principle. They have a little lever, in this case it's on the side here. So you pull the lever away and then the plate pops up. And then you have the plate here. So the little screw here, that's what's going to screw in the bottom of your camera. And if you go underneath here, A lot of them have a little thing like that you can use to help you screw it in, or some of them you might require a screwdriver or something like that. That's where every tripod is different, but basically it's the same thing for all of them. And if you look in the bottom of the camera, you have the 1/4 inch 20 thread in the bottom here. So that's where you're gonna screw the little screw in. And there's different standards for sizes, but 99% of the tripod mounts in the bottom of your camera and of the tripods are 1/4 20 thread. Some of them are bigger if you go with the larger video cameras especially, but most of the equipment that's actually affordable is usually the 1/4 20 thread. So you just go like this, you take the thread, you put it in the hole, then you twist this in, and you're gonna want to make sure that you put it solidly so that the camera stays in place. And if you don't do it correctly, you just start again and all that. As long as you've had maybe a turn or two of the screw inside the camera, your camera is actually secured in place, and there's no issue with that. And then you take the camera with the adapter on. In some models like this one, you have to push the lever again so that the camera can go down, and then you close it like this. If you're not too sure, I do recommend that you practice without the camera on first, but after you get the hang of your mechanism, you'll see it's really easy to put the camera on a tripod.
Now we understand the safety part and how to put it on. So it is very much important that you ensure that you are able to put it in. And also, if it is you're practicing, don't put the camera on, but practice without it so that you're able to understand how the mechanism works. But you get the idea that it's more similar. When you find a camera, just look under there. You'll find that there's a screw. Then you understand. Or other types, they just click in and they just mount to the tripod. So it depends. But as the person was saying, that it is very much similar. And once you understand this one, others become much more easier. Now, copyrights. Now we want to talk about copyrights. What is a copyright law? A copyright law refers to the one legal right of the owner. Once you do something, you have the rights of it. Sorry, basically, in simple terms, copyright is the right to copy rather. So it is very much important to understand copyright laws, especially once you're doing recordings and you're posting on social media. You know, as a YouTuber, I understand that once I include music or once I include footages that are not copyrighted or that are not owned by me or where I do not have rights to use them, usually my videos get a strike or I'm requested to mute the video or take it out completely. So we need to understand that copyrights are very much important. And this honor is also for educational purposes. So you are able to understand that once we use copyright laws in whatever that we do, we need to take note of it. A lot of churches nowadays beam music, play, they show lyrics and everything. They need to be copyrighted. The church needs to be registered to know that no, we are able to use certain music, we are able to use certain lyrics and beam them out. For instance, our church hymn now is copyrighted by the Seventh-day Adventist Church. So all Seventh-day Adventist churches can use it. That's why you find out if you are using the Seventh-day Adventist music outside of the church without proper permissions, and you're using it in a bad way, or you're using it to profit somewhere else but not the church. The church is able to legally take you to court or legally sue you because you are using their material, you are using their content and everything without them knowing or acknowledging that you are able to do so, or them receiving some sort of profit or gains out of what you're doing. So let us take note of that, such things, so that we are able to understand whether it's music, whether it's images. Once you put it on your video, ensure that you have rights or permission to do so. And if you do not have, or if you are not sure, search about the music. For instance, if you use a famous or other gospel songs, you are able to understand that sometimes you are not able to use it because it says you are not able to, even if it's artists in the church. So you need to understand certain copyright laws so that you're able to protect yourself, you're able to protect the church, because once you go live and you put music that is not copyrighted or which you do not own, your live stream maybe get cut and each and everything. Once you're having World Pathfinder Day and you're playing music, and it can ruin everything. So ensure that you are careful when it comes to copyright laws, and you can research about it and get into detail and understand what is the copyright law says of Facebook, if YouTube, wherever that you'll be uploading your content. Oh, I skipped. Now we are having certain requirements that we need to do. And I love requirements because they actually help us to understand the honor that we are doing with this video. Now, required number 7 requires us to create a short, simple clip and show it in a public place like a church or social media. Video ideas may include object lessons, music video clip, Bible story, nature, you name it. For instance, you can take a video and sing, "Oh, how I love Jesus, because he first loved me. That's the reason we all should love him." You record that music, you upload it on your church's social media or on your director's social media page to show that you're able to use social media for proper things, object lessons. You can use the Bible storytelling to record everything. And I remember when we attended the camp, we did a drama. You can also check it out at I think it's West Rand Adventist Youth page, where we did a whole drama, a concert night, whereby people were acting out, showing how they overcome things. And it was a beautiful, beautiful thing that was done online. People were able to watch and interact and seeing their children participating in such things. Requirement number 8, discuss how streaming video technology contributes to the spreading of the gospel of Jesus as found in Mark 16, verse 15. And it says, "And he said to them, go into the world and preach the gospel." Go into the world and preach the gospel. I love how video can able to help us to preach the gospel of God. So we have a discussion, whether with your partner, whether with your director, understand how streaming video can contribute to spreading the gospel of God. And I can share some of the things. During the pandemic, we couldn't go to churches, we couldn't go to attend, but we had that spiritual enlightenment and revival because we were able to watch online and we were able to be uplifted and be inspired. And that was a beautiful, 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 beautiful. We had sermons from our pastors, sermons from everyone recording themselves speaking, and we got some sort of revival. You understand? So we can use social media platforms in various ways, And also, as you as a Pathfinder, I know that you have a TikTok account, I know you have an Instagram account, a Facebook account, and I hope that your parents are ensuring that you're posting right things and you are being careful on social media not to post wrong things. And how are you using those social medias to spread the gospel of God? So that is all for today. Let us understand that video, it is very much important and is very much needed in the gospel and in the church. And once we incorporate it in everything that we do, everything will be much easier. In everything that we do, everything that we preach about, we talk about, all will be well. And I hope to see you soon. And thank you very much for joining us today as we talked about video. Cheers.